After one person was shot and killed in Middletown last night, prosecutors shared new details about what they say was a targeted attack carried out by 24-year-old Nigel Smickle. Thanks for watching the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Annette Montgomery. Fox 61's Alicia Hercules walks us through what investigators say happened leading up to those gunshots.
In the courtroom, the prosecutor called this murder an execution. As the details of the murder were read out loud, the victim's mother could be seen in tears.
This clearly looks like an assassination, execution type situation.
Wednesday evening, just before 6 o'clock, police were called to the area of Cooley Avenue after getting several 911 calls reporting gunshots. When police got there, they found one person shot multiple times. The victim was taken to the hospital where they died from their injuries. According to video evidence, the prosecutor said the victim was walking their dog at the time of the shooting.
But the video you see this defendant called past the defendant while he was walking with his dog, pulls into a parking space, gets out of the car, walks down an alleyway, calls the victim over, shoots at him 2 times.
As the victim was falling to the ground, the prosecutor said Nigel Smickle moved out of the frame of the video, but 3 additional shots can be heard. Investigators quickly identified Smickle as the suspect. Smickle was found and arrested in Hartford. Court records show he was nearing the end of his probation for 2 prior convictions for possession of a controlled substance. The prosecution wanted his bond set at $2 million. Smickle's attorney disagreed with that amount.
He can't pose any substantial bond. So anything even over $1 million is excessive.
His bond was set at $1.75 million. Police say the investigation is still active. However, they don't think there's any additional threat to the public. He's expected back in court on May 5th. In Middletown, Alicia Hercules, Fox 61.
Alicia, thanks. The Office of the Child Advocate says children are being put at risk because of ongoing failures at the Department of Children and Families. In a letter released today, it says DCF is still struggling with basic casework, like visiting kids, gathering information, and properly supervising cases. The office says data shows in many cases even the minimum standards aren't being met, and some children aren't being seen at all. The report follows a recent tragedy in which a child died by apparent suicide shortly after calling DCF for help and asking to be put into foster care. The office is calling for immediate, large-scale action and says stronger oversight is needed to protect children. We reached out to DCF for comment, and they said, quote, "We have commenced a multidisciplinary review that will include our knowledge about the family casework, decisions, supervisory and managerial oversight, and adherence to policy and best case practice standards. We will be transparent regarding what we learn from our assessment once our comprehensive review is complete," end quote.
The man accused of killing 3 men in a boat crash in Old Saybrook back in 2024 has rejected a plea deal, so that case will now go to trial. Clayton Hackling, who you see there, was offered a plea deal back in November of 30 years in prison, which would be suspended after 15 years served with 5 years probation. Police say Hackling drove a boat under the influence and crashed in September of 2024, killing 3 people and injuring 6 others. At this time, no date has been set for the trial. Well, students at Killingley High School were turned away this morning after a threat forced the school to close down for the day.
The investigation is ongoing and information is still limited at this time, but parents we talked to say they are concerned. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson shares what went down this morning.
It was a worrying scene before the school day started here at Killingley High School as state troopers were in the carpool lane telling parents to take their students home. Buses were also turning around as news of a threat towards the school started to reach students and parents. This is all the information the parents got following the school's closing. It's an email from the district that reads, "Due to safety concerns that arose this morning and needs to be investigated, Killingley High School will be closed and students arriving on buses will be brought home." A mother who wanted to remain anonymous hadn't got the chance to drop her students off at the school before receiving the email.
We just had one of these a couple weeks ago where there was an actual lockdown and an actual stay put and then an evacuation like 10-15 minutes before school was over. It's happening so often that my kid, I have a junior and I have a freshman, and they, as sad as it sounds and even alarming, they don't even seem like they're really affected.
This mother has 2 students who go to the school at Killingly High School. She too has started to believe threats towards the school and the district are hoaxes.
Part of my mind is like, it's just another prank. And I don't want to obviously think like that, because letting your guard down, I feel like that's when stuff can happen.
There's been no word yet from the police if the threat was fake. We reached out to state police who are looking into the threat, and they said the investigation is still ongoing. The school district said the same thing when we called them, but later sent another email to parents saying the threat was determined to be unsubstantiated and that students are safe to return to the school on Friday.
Some kids definitely get nervous. Parents obviously don't want to send their kids to school when stuff like this arises, and you are a small town and you never want to think that it will happen, but you have to have that thought in the back of your mind. You can't assume that it won't happen.
The mother says she feels comfortable sending her students to school Friday, but still wants them to practice caution.
If they feel comfortable going, I allow them. I think if it was a younger grade, where I think kids get more scared and have more fear, and don't know how to respond to certain things, maybe I would have kept them home, but I kind of leave it up to them.
Because of the school closing, the district has added an additional day at the end of the year on June 18th. This will serve as an exam makeup day, and it only affects grades 9 through 11. It doesn't affect the seniors. In Killingly, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
A former Waterbury teacher has been arrested again. Investigators say Philip Hughes sent more inappropriate messages to another student. He was in court this morning to face a charge of harmful contact with a minor. State police first arrested Hughes in February on a similar offense. He was placed on administrative leave but has since been fired, and he is also not allowed on any education department property.
Well, now to a story that's dividing a school community in Norwich. A wrestling coach has been charged after police say an incident during practice left a student with a concussion and head trauma. Fox 61's Victoria Anderson shares what we've learned from the courtroom and the victim's classmates.
It was a quick day in court for the Norwich Free Academy wrestling coach, but here on campus, the court of public opinion is still weighing in on new details revealed in the arrest warrant. An assault in a room full of students, triggered by a 6-7 joke. That's what students describe in a newly released arrest warrant for Norwich Free Academy's coach and math teacher, Stephen Nelson. Nelson is now charged with third-degree assault and risk of injury to a child. The arrest warrant says this happened during wrestling practice on December 30th. Coach Nelson asked the team to reach an RPM of at least 60 to 70 on an exercise bike. The victim then responded with a 6-7 joke, referring to the viral meme. The warrant says it was then that the coach hit the student in the face with an open hand. The student was taken by a parent to the hospital later that day and diagnosed with head trauma and a concussion.
First of all, as mandated, we contacted the Department of Children and Families, and then we put Mr. Nelson on paid administrative leave, where he remains to this day.
Michael O'Farrell with Norwich Free Academy told us the school was notified the next day, but still some of Nelson's former students are struggling with the news.
I love to have him. He's always there for me. I would always visit him after class.
Senior Lindsay Silva told us this has been really hard for students on the wrestling team, including her twin sister.
She's been really going through it because she really likes and supports him and everything, and so she doesn't like what's going on. She knows it wasn't intentional, so she's going to support him every step of the way.
The arrest warrant also detailed messages from the wrestling team, some of whom were in the room during the alleged assault. The students agreed to, quote, all have a story, a simple one, when speaking with police.
At this point, due process has to take its course.
Nelson is currently out on a $10,000 bond, and his next day in court will be May 26th. In Norwich, Victoria Anderson, Fox 61.
Meriden police say a woman turned herself in yesterday after being accused of sexually assaulting her own dog. Police say Christina Kennedy filmed and shared video of the assault. A veterinarian examined the dog and found no injuries. Investigators say they became concerned about her 2 cats and seized them as well. The city's animal control will ask a judge tomorrow to have custody of the cats. Kennedy's out on bond and will be in court in a few weeks.
Waterbury police say a 52-year-old woman was hit by a car this morning and the driver took off. They tell us she has minor injuries and it happened on Cherry Street around 7:30 a.m. Right now, the hit and run is under investigation.
And happening now, the Waterbury Board of Aldermen is holding a special meeting inside City Hall. Officials are expected to talk about both the resignation of the superintendent of water and a police department investigation. No additional details have been released. We'll bring you the latest from the meeting tonight at 10 and 11. And the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority has rejected a request to reconsider its approval of a major water utility deal involving Aquarion and Eversource. Attorney General William Tong and others pushed PURA to reconsider after claiming there was a $500 million math error that underestimated how bad the rate hikes would be from the sale. But regulators said there was no error and that it was just a misunderstanding of how the spreadsheets were formatted.
Well, the man charged with attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump during the White House Correspondents' Dinner was back in court today for a detention hearing.
And prosecutors had asked that Cole Thomas Allen be held in detention to assure the community's safety. Yvonne Rodriguez has the latest on the hearing and what new details investigators are learning.
In a reversal of previous arguments, lawyers for the suspected White House correspondent shooter conceded Thursday to keep him in jail before trial. In a court filing laying out their argument for keeping Cole Thomas Allen in custody, prosecutors say Allen was planning the attack for weeks.
He made reservations earlier in the month. He accumulated the weapons. There was a lot of planning and a lot of thought about this.
On the day of the dinner, according to the filing, Allen left his room several times and searched for the president's schedule on his phone. At approximately 8:03 p.m., Allen took a photo of himself in his hotel room, showing weapons strapped to his body, the filing says. About 30 minutes later, Allen approached the security checkpoint a floor above the ballroom where the president and guests were seated. He then sprinted through the checkpoint to the ballroom. As Allen sprinted to the stairs, he raised the shotgun, and a Secret Service officer reported that he observed the man fire the shotgun in the direction of the stairs leading to the ballroom and in the direction of a Secret Service officer, according to the court filing. The officer fired 5 times at Allen with none of the bullets hitting him, according to the filing.
We also know it as a result of the fact that there were so many holes in the area that we knew were hit by that 9mm. So this Secret Service agent did not shoot himself, and you've got Cole Allen going there shooting off 1 round, and I don't think there's any question of what happened here.
Ivan Rodriguez, Fox 61,